Hi everybody, it's Rhiannon from the Epsom Bakehouse. I've had a really busy day. We've been teaching a sourdough breads class here today. It's been great fun and we made lots of bread. But I just wanted to come on because one of the things we tackled today was baking sourdough and indeed any bread when it's pretty cold, when the weather's cold outside. If you're in the UK, you'll know that we've had some cold weather today and in the last couple of days, and it's been down below zero, and that can really affect how your bread rises. So I just wanted to share a couple of ways to help you bake great bread when it's cold. The first, and this is specifically for sourdough, but it will apply to if you're making bread with normal yeast as well. Sourdough is bread that you make with a starter, and that's a mixture of flour and water in which the naturally occurring yeasts on the flour have been allowed to flourish. But they're still not very concentrated, so it usually takes a lot longer to rise a loaf of a sourdough bread than it does if you're using commercial yeast. So my first tip, if you're using a sourdough starter to rise your bread and it's cold, is to actually to use a little bit more of that starter. So you might have to adjust your recipe a little bit, but I use a rye starter, so I'm only using a small amount of starter in every loaf I do, and so you could just use a little bit more, even double what you would normally use. Obviously if you're using a wheat starter, often the amounts in a recipe are a lot bigger as a proportion of the whole recipe. So you might find that you can't double it, but you might just want to use a little bit more, and obviously that will increase the amount of yeast that you're adding into your bread that's present in your starter, and will help decrease the time it takes to roast your loaf of bread. A second thing that affects and this is really the crux of the matter, because it's cold outside and obviously it's a bit colder in your house as well, is the temperature at which you rise your dough, and indeed your ingredients, and when you're refreshing your starter. So use tepid water that's hand temperature, and keep it nice and warm. You might want to put your dough while it's rising, perhaps under some lights, maybe even with in the oven with the light on. I wouldn't turn it on because you don't know if it's going to go above 40 degrees, which will stop your dough rising. But a warm place, warm water to make up your dough, warm water when you're refreshing your starter, just anything, because the yeast that you want to flourish really like it to be at about 25 degrees centigrade plus. So just keep that in mind, and that's another way to help you rise your dough in the cold, if you're making sourdough, or indeed if you're making any bread. And my last tip would be to give it more time. You might just find that your bread making extends across a day or two, especially if you're making sourdough. So if you make up a dough in the morning, maybe just leave it for 5 or 6 hours to rise. That's the last thing you can do. And actually when you're making sourdough, or indeed any bread, giving your bread dough time to rise, as much time as possible, will impart lots of flavour into your bread. So it's a really great thing to do. And also it just means that you can go off and get on doing other things whilst your bread is rising. So that was 3 tips there for helping your bread dough, if you're making sourdough, and you're baking when it's cold outside, for helping you get a decent loaf of bread and helping your bread rise. Perhaps using a bit more starter to increase the yeast in your dough, making sure that your dough is warm, your water is warm, but not too hot, just hand temperature, and also giving it lots of time to rise. It will always take longer to rise in these colder temperatures. I hope that's been helpful. I look forward to seeing you again here too. Let me know in the comments if you do have any other questions about making sourdough, and I will look forward to seeing you here again soon. Thanks very much. Bye.